Now we
Um,
have the correct standings, and you could see the Mercedes dominance.
Absolutely, it's been an absolutely strong season for Mercedes in this division and in the league as a whole. But Rhapsody and Maxime, I think, will be up for some strong battles today. As Cody Lawrence, he is back, ladies and gentlemen, for another race.
Let's take a look at the track. The France with the very long straight, interrupted by the menstrual chicane.
Indeed, it seems that famous French circuits love their abnormally long straights interrupted by those chicanes. Um, 15 corners, two DRS zones, one along the start finish straight, and one, of course, along the Mistral straight. A relatively flat circuit here, which some people think is not so exciting, but I think it's gonna be a very interesting race. Tire wear, of course, is a huge factor here. Making sure that you can take those tires as long as possible, whatever tires you choose.
This track is
And
where F1 does the tire testing.
is it really? I had no idea.
The Pirelli tire tests take place at the La Castellet circuit in France, I think.
That is very interesting. Um, nice little tidbit of information there. So hopefully the Pirelli engineers on site
Because
should have plenty of data.
they can actually simulate wet weather running at the circuit with all the sprinklers around the track. They can
Oh,
make
that's
it
true.
like it's
This
fully
circuit
wet.
does have sprinklers. And what is it like?
Do you think we'll see those sprinklers today?
147 different layouts.
Something
Of
like
course,
that.
only one layout. FIA Grade One status. Um, which is unfortunate because this circuit has so many different configurations that could be used. Some perhaps more exciting than others. But as we load in, uh, place your bets, ladies and gentlemen, on the weather.
Will we see the
Uh,
sprinklers on today?
we see, indeed, the sprinklers from the sky could provide some interesting racing. Of course, last week in Austria, we didn't get any rain, which was a bit unfortunate. Um, Hopefully, we can get a little bit of rain. Perhaps not have the entire race be wet. I think changeable conditions provide the most interesting uh, set of race conditions because it brings to light the sort of strategic minds of the drivers and their uh, various helpers. And it looks like, at least in qualifying, it's going to be dry.
Yep, it looks like a dry session for now. We have the full grid today, all 20 drivers, some reserves, mostly full time, some returning drivers that we'll get to once we see them on track. See which one the first car out. One of the Mercedes. I see the Mercedes crew moving.
Yep, it looks like Rhapsody is ready to go. But down towards the end of the pit lane, I see a Williams and a Haas are leaving the pits. So, and there goes an AlphaTauri as well. So, yeah, it looks like first man on track is Johnny Disco.
Where is he on the list?
He's in
We got
P14 on the medium tires. So Johnny looking to um, start the race on what many will consider as the superior race tire. Obviously, the softs are not very durable. They're fast, but certainly not durable. So I think lots of drivers will be hoping to at least start on the mediums, um, or potentially not have to use the softs. um, at all. So it'll be very interesting to see what these drivers come up with.
Right behind Disco, we have Hughes Lamberton, the America's Tier 2 driver, reserving today
Indeed,
in the Alpha.
my teammate in America's Tier 2, reserving in America's Tier 1, has made a lot of improvements to both his pace and his racecraft over the course of the season. So really excited to see what he can do up against some of these guys in Tier 1.
He said he's going to be slow, but I don't know about that. I think he has a good shot today.
I think he does too. He likes to sell himself short sometimes. But here he goes into turn 1. Looking great so far. Keeping it within the bounds of the track. Johnny Disco, though, he has invalidated. So far, Hughes is the first driver. And Johnny Disco spun at the exit of turn 6. Very unfortunate. So those mediums are well and truly done. But Hughes Lamberton barreling down the Mistral Straight, headed for turn 8.
Coming through the chicane now.
Very nice entry, maximizing his usage of the curbs.
And he's following the lines that we saw in Tier 1 earlier today.
Yeah, very, very nice lines through Senior Corner. Into Bosé. Long right-hander, partially cambered. You want to use the camber to your advantage. And now Bendor, off camber, left-hander. Very difficult, very easy to spin. But he keeps it nice and clean. And coming now to the final corner. Maximizing his use of the curb on the exit. DRS wide open. Foot to the floor. Comes across the line, and it's a 1:30.4. Zisha comes behind him at 1:28.9.
Smashes it. And Cotters also improving by 5/10 over Hughes. See what tires they're on. Cotters on the mediums, a very good lap for the medium tires.
Yeah, 1:30.0 for Cotters on the mediums. Very impressive, as Rhapsody does a 36.4, so potentially a mistake there for the Mercedes driver.
Cotters reserving today with Emro Henners, his teammate in the other Haas today.
As Maxime crosses the line, a 1:30.2 on the mediums. Strong lap times. Oh, nearly loses the car. Puts the rear wing into the wall, Yuki Tsunoda style. That will certainly be damage, and he will have to box. Of course, his lap isn't invalidated.
With Johnny Meeuwsen back, returning full-time for the remainder of the season in the McLaren. He was here last season.
Indeed. Let's see what time he has in store for us. A 1:29.2. Very competitive lap time from the McLaren driver.
Cody made a bit of space for the Williams coming out of the pit lane. I think it was Disco. He invalidates on purpose to just set practice laps.
Indeed. Cody planning to do Cody Lawrence things.
Another returning driver, Toltzman. Back for the remainder of the season, taking over in the Aston Martin for Bon Mateo.
Indeed. Rhapsody, meanwhile, goes third fastest, 29.0 on used softs.
Toltzman goes fourth fastest, just missing out on Rhapsody's time by half a tenth.
Yeah, really, really impressive lap times from these drivers so far. Rhapsody, of course, he'll be hoping to improve, I think, because you definitely do not want to start the race on used softs that are more than that have had more than one hot lap performed on them, because that's going to significantly hamper your strategy in the race more than usual in any other circuit, really. Meanwhile, the medium runners still pretty comfortable. Cotters, P8, Maxime, P10.
Carter's goes for spin. He's trying to make space on the track, and he lost it in the white painted part.
Indeed, he did. Of course, the colorful stripes here at Circuit Paul Ricard, made of much more abrasive asphalt, I believe. Just to, as an added safety benefit.
Oh, and Disco going for a big spin, but all low top of the curb, and it sends his car completely around. But he's got it back on track now.
Disco really struggling. After such a strong opening of the season, his performance has fallen off somewhat in qualifying, if memory serves. But on board, yes, with his teammate Ruben, coming through turn 14, turn 15 now. DRS is open, and he backs out of it.
He didn't like it.
Very interesting.
He might be thinking of the start P11, start on the hard tires strategy.
Indeed, a 1 minute 30.3 on purpose for Ruben.
Still no one able to touch Visha. Sales came close though.
Yeah, very, very impressive lap time from Visha, 28.9.
Getting blocked by Gabox a bit. But he's on outlap, never mind.
Yeah, we'll see what Mew Mew can do here. He, of course, reserved in Tier 1 earlier today. Didn't get a chance to set a qualifying lap. Had it, I would say, a race to forget. But
a disappointing race.
A disappointing race for sure. But America's Tier 1, his home and native land. Hopefully he can continue the strong set of performances that he has had so far, with a P1 in Canada, of course, on his MRL debut, and a P2 last week in Austria. Definitely a quick driver. Certainly not someone to be underestimated.
And he's one of the people that it makes it look easy, even though he practices a lot.
Indeed. Incredibly smooth driver.
Dago going fastest, beating Visha by 2/10.
Yeah, the track is certainly ramping up, I think. So we should start to see lap times tumbling down.
Here comes Meaty now, coming up to the sector. He's in sector 3. Looking nice through there. Coming up to turns 14 and 15 now.
Very nice, very smooth through 14. The final corner, slight lockup, but it doesn't look like it's going to hurt him too much. Comes to the line fastest, 29.1. Only 4/100ths faster than his teammate, as Maxime goes P2 on a 28.9. 1/100th of a second faster than Visha. So we have a bit of a traffic jam here in turn 6. Holtzman, who's spun around, it seems. And one of the Alpha Tauris. Looks like it was Gavox G, just letting some cars through here.
Rhapsody flying through the final sector now.
Indeed. Very nice line through Bendor. Oh, doesn't invalidate. That was a little bit sketchy on the exit. Here he comes through turn 14. Trying to stay tight to the curb. Second gear for the final corner. Short shifts to 4th. Power down. DRS open. What's it going to be? Mew Mew goes fastest to 28.3. Rhapsody goes
Mew
third
Mew
fastest, a
by
28.8.
a lot.
Yeah, absolutely statement lap from Mew Mew. 4/10 nearly clear of the rest of the field.
Connor's coming down the Minstrel Straight now. Coming to the chicane.
Yeah, he's on an in lap, so
Is he?
he's taking it easy as Hughes Lamberton behind him also on an in lap. Or at least has invalidated whatever lap he's on, so he will either be going again or he'll be coming in for a fresh set of tires.
Visha on a lap.
Henner's on his way in. Disco just behind him.
Visha's invalidated his lap. Gabby's up trying the medium tires. He thinks he has pace to make the top 10 on the mediums. See what the sector 2 time's gonna be.
Very interesting. A 22.3 in the first sector for Gabism. As he crosses sector 2, it flashed purple for a second.
It didn't give us
50.0.
like a delta. For some reason. Oh, because
Yeah,
he hasn't set a lap yet.
It would be nice to know where he would sit relative to the field. Pretty nice lap this is shaping up to be. Very smooth through Bendor. Turn 14 now. Not as aggressive on the turn-ins. Very interesting.
He's relaxed and
strong
taking
on
it
the
easy.
power. Definitely just wants to see where he'll go, and it's a 30.4. Only good enough for 15th. So, it looks like if you want to be in the top 10,
Graz.
you're going to need a set of softs.
The Spinella.
Oh no, Graz is spun.
I don't know if he was on a lap or not. But he went for a spin.
It looks like he was.
If he was on a lap, he's no longer on a lap.
Yeah. Really unfortunate there. Of course, turn 2, very easy to spin if you take too much of the curb on the inside. It's very tall and very easy to unsettle the car as the track sort of falls away from you on the exit. So, you know, an understandable spin, but surprising considering driver of Graz's skill. It's Cody Lawrence, invalid once again. Just
Two Red
praying
Bulls.
that Gabox can outqualify him so he doesn't have to do any more laps. And he can truly start from 20th place on the grid. So we're in the final 3 minutes of this qualifying session, Ghazi.
Cody told me that if you don't set a lap, then they go by car number to decide the final order. So if Gabox and Cody both don't set a lap, the person with the higher car number is going to start last.
Very interesting. Yeah, so currently Gabox number 71 and Cody
Number 38.
what car number is he? Car number 38. So, yes, Cody would indeed start ahead of Gabox. So we've got a slow Alfa Romeo. Looks like Hughes.
Yeah,
just letting some cars by.
Lots of people on outlaps right now. Looks like Hughes is abandoned his lap. He's coming
in. His battery is turned off. Oh, and he goes on to the runoff. Totally understandable. Doesn't want to get in anyone's way.
He doesn't know if they're on outlaps or not, but most of these people are on outlaps.
Yeah, but he has his battery deactivated, so potentially he is headed into the pits. As he does. So, currently on a lap, it is Rhapsody or is Henner's the one who's on a lap?
I think Rhapsody
Oh,
might be ahead
Mew
actually.
Mew has a 5-second penalty for illegal blocking.
That means he's gonna start. He's gonna have to lose 5 positions. He's gonna start
Oh
P5 at
no,
least. The best he can
that
hope for is P5 now.
that is very unlucky. The best he can hope for is P6, I believe,
Oh, really?
if
With the
he manages to set the fastest lap of the session. Meanwhile, Rhapsody, he's invalidated, so unless he has fuel to go again, that's his qualifying done and dusted. He is going to go again.
Henner's coming through the final corners now.
Anders, let's see if he can put in a strong performance. It's looking like a good lap so far. 28, 29, 29.4. It's a 1.2 second improvement, but only good enough for P13. But I think he'll be happy with that. That's a good lap for Henners. Oh, Visha has a moment on the exit of turn 2. Has to abandon the lap. Still valid, but I think that that he is truly done. As we've got some drivers headed into the pits. Mew Mew had a spin on the exit of turn 12. So his qualifying is also done. What can Rhapsody do? He's purple in sector 2. Can Rhapsody put it on pole? Meanwhile, Babatunde goes 4th fastest.
See what Rhapsody can do.
Maxime, he's coming across the line. It's a 3/10 improvement. He goes P2. Good lap from Maxime.
Let's see if Rhapsody can join him. Very slow through the lap.
Otters crosses the line. Goes 4th fastest. Rhapsody, what can he do? Goes 3rd fastest to 28.6.
No one even close to Mew Mew's time, but Mew Mew with the 5-place grid penalty. He's gonna be starting this race from P6.
Indeed. Here comes Ruben to the line. Does not improve on the mediums.
Sidewinder going to the box.
Yeah, Sidewinder, he feels that he is done.
Gabazum's invalidated. About Gabox.
Here comes Gabizum. He is invalidated. Very
Gabox still
unfortunate.
I think. Oh, but he's got no. He's very slow lap. Looks like this will be our starting order.
Indeed. No one else is on a lap unless, yep, Gabox into the pits.
So it's gonna be Maxime from pole.
Maxime, pole position. In fact, a Mercedes 1-2. With Dago in the mix, as seems to be customary these days. Cotters will start P4, and Babatunde will start P5. Mew Mew should start P6, I believe.
We've got a prediction going.
And then it will be Sales, Visha, Sidewinder, Holtzman, Meaty, Jacob, Graz, Gabox, Henners, Hughes Lamberton, Ruben, Gabizum, Johnny Disco, and the man himself, Cody Lawrence, to start from the back.
So let's see channel points spending. Will Maxime win the race or will he bottle the race from pole? I think it's going to be a very tall task to win this race. He's got fast drivers behind him.
He does indeed have very quick drivers behind him, but we saw in Austria he was able to hang on to 10th place even with side pod damage. So hopefully he will finally get a chance to showcase what he's capable of, what I know that he's capable of, in my totally unbiased commentator's opinion. But this is going to be a very interesting race. An uncharacteristic mistake from Mew Mew there. Not really sure what happened with that grid penalty. But yeah, super interesting the way this is shaping up here, Ghazi.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very excited. Well, everyone's just setting their strategy now.
And it looks, at least for the moment, it's going to be a dry race.
It looks like we have some team agreements in the MRL chat. Connor's making a plan with Dago to battle the Mercs. They're making a truce amongst themselves to fight the real enemy.
Interesting, interesting.
I think
Well,
it's smart because you know what's gonna happen. These Mercedes cars are gonna drive away with this.
indeed. I think Rhapsody and Maxime have shown that they work incredibly well together. Their pace is incredibly similar. They should just be able to drive away, assuming they get good starts. But let's look at the tires. Of course, the top 10 will start on the softs. They qualified. Meaty on the hard tires. And then 12th through
I love the strategy from Meaty.
16th, yes. And then 5 medium runners. Then Ruben also on the hards. Gabism on the mediums. Disco on the softs. Very interesting choice here from Johnny Disco. Starting 19th, choosing the softs.
He could get lucky if an early safety car comes out.
Yeah, obviously banking on an early safety car. He could have just extreme confidence in his race pace or potential shambles in turn one. So, he'll be looking to either capitalize on people making mistakes or just blasting his way through the field. Cody Lawrence, of course, on the hard tires. That makes perfect sense. He has nothing to lose, everything to gain. And of course, he is the tire whisperer, so those hards will never be in danger of blowing up. And of course, if there's a late safety car, he can easily go to the softs and take those to the end.
I think Cody could go to the end of the race from here with those hard tires. No problem.
Oh, absolutely. If anyone could take the hard tires to the end from the start at Circuit Paul Ricard, it would be
The
Cody
Albon
Lawrence.
strat.
Indeed. The Albon strat. Yeah, of course. One to watch, Mr. Mew Mew, P6. So the Mercs are wanting to get this race underway. They are a little bit ahead of Dago, and they will be sitting on the grid for a long time.
We'll
Luckily,
see if the truce works out. Can these cars work together to catch up with Mercedes?
Indeed. It's all fun and games in the Discord, but once the lights go out, of course, the every hint of cooperation can go out the
then
window.
it's every man for himself, even when you're on the same team sometimes.
Indeed. No team orders at Mercedes. Can they do what they did at Circuit of the Americas? The engines are revving. The lights are on. And it's lights out. And we're off. It's a great start for Maxime. He's still ahead. Dago, it looks like he's alongside. He's ahead of Rhapsody. Rhapsody's had a terrible start. And here they go into turn one, and Dago's going for the lead. He's going for the lead already on the exit of turn two. He goes a little bit wide.
And he's got it.
Oh my goodness, Dago has got the lead. An amazing start for Dago.
And it looks like Sales has gotten past. It's not a great start for Carter. He's fallen all the way to P8.
Yeah, Connors is tumbling down the order.
Grass went for a spin, it looks like.
As we've got big position changes up and down the field.
Oh, Sidewinders.
Looks like Sidewinder. He's falling down.
I can't even get them. It's going down so fast.
He's falling down to the end. He's had a spin, and he has fallen off of the back of the field. Those softs, he might box here, because those softs are going to be absolutely destroyed. Meanwhile, at the front,
Mew Mew looking at Sales, trying to get back where he belongs, qualifying with the fastest time, but being forced to start the race from P6 for a very questionable penalty.
Mew Mew, I think his strategy is to be patient here. I think he doesn't need to force anything. It's 27 laps of this race, but really amazing start. As we've got another spinner. It's Ruben. He is spun on the exit of turn 11. But here we go. The gap at the front is 0.6 from Dago to Maxime. Dago with the opening fastest lap of a 1:38.1. He is pushing very hard. Already 0.9 of a second. Almost a full second gap before even DRS is activated.
Yeah, you know what this is? This is a dream start for Dago. Going past both Mercedes.
This is indeed a dream start. Funny story. I was before this race, I was watching the 2016 Australian Grand Prix, and you know what happened during that race, Ghazi? Sebastian Vettel started from third and overtook both Mercedes before the first corner. It seems that Dago did his homework.
Yeah, he must have been watching that race also.
Yeah,
Learn what to do.
he is streaking away. 1.5 seconds the gap already.
The gap
as he heads into turn 11.
The timing tower is broken on my screen, unfortunately. So the gap updates are good.
Unfortunate.
I don't know how to fix that.
As Miu, I think he's contented himself to stick with the train and see what happens. But Dago, he has put his foot to the floor. 2 seconds the gap as he crosses the line to start lap 3. 1:32.399, the new fastest lap. And DRS is activated. So will we see a swap for the Mercedes? It will be interesting to see
I thought there was no team orders.
What the situation looks like for the Mercedes drivers. As Visha very early is first blood for penalties. We see Gabox into the pits. So he obviously had picked up some wing damage. Very unfortunate. But he is off the mediums onto another set of mediums.
It looks like Mercedes, they did exchange positions. Rhapsody ahead of Maxime now.
Yeah, very interesting. So, as we've got a spinner, it looks like Disco. He is spun at the exit of turn 2. Very unfortunate race for him.
Yeah, he's in last place.
Really struggled in qualifying. Struggling in the race as well. It's certainly been a second half of the season to forget for Johnny, I think.
Yeah, the gaps are just broken now. I have no idea why.
Well, I have the gaps, and I can tell you that Rhapsody is slowly.
Oh, there they go. They're back now.
On David, he is 1.8 seconds behind. So
what a gap from Dago.
Mercedes drivers have picked up a couple tenths.
Sales. He's right behind Maxime.
Yeah, as Dago. Oh no, he's picked up a time penalty. 3 seconds.
This might be what Mercedes needs, but the gap is already almost 3 seconds. He's 1 second away from getting out of penalty range.
Yep. Dago is certainly keeping the gap nice and healthy around that 2 second mark. I don't think he has to worry about pushing at all here. I think he just needs to be more
Oh, Disco's out of this race
consistent.
In the pit lane.
Yep, Disco has retired. He has had enough. Really unfortunate opening few laps for him. Meanwhile, down in the field, Cody Lawrence on the hard tires.
Yeah, you see Cody 14th now. That's not going to be 14th for long. Soon he's going to be in the top 3.
Indeed, it is not. The hard tires here, they do take a few laps to get up to speed. So he'll be patient, I think. It takes about 7 or 8 laps for the hard tires to really get into the groove, and then another few laps for them to actually be faster or as fast as the mediums. But we know that Cody is a fast driver regardless of how little tire wear he can manage.
Jacob going side by side with Visha, not able to get the move done.
Yep. Oh, an interesting snap for Jacob on the exit.
Yeah, but he collected the car, thankfully.
Yep. As it's locked, a locked train from Rhapsody to Meaty, and then Henners, who's trying to reconnect. I think he just managed to do it. So pretty much the whole grid from 2nd to 15th is in the same DRS train. Very interesting.
Looks like the Mercedes
Cotters
cars
picks up a 3-second time penalty.
almost fighting amongst each other. Like Maxime doesn't want to make the overtake, but he might get overtaken by the cars behind. Sales and Mew Mew side by side. Mew Mew getting the move down on Sales. Now Mew Mew's next target is your team.
Indeed it is. Mew Mew has decided that patience is dumb. It's time to make some moves.
And Mercedes is next.
Oh, a little bit of understeer through turn 14 for Mew Mew. If he wants this overtake, he's got to set it up right. But Maxime has DRS to defend. And Dago, 2.4 seconds is his lead now. So
very showing serious pace.
Very near to the gap he needs to nullify the penalty here on lap 6.
He was saying in the chat like he invalidated one of his runs. He had to back out of it because there was traffic. Maybe he had pace for pole position, but he's definitely showing that he does have the pace.
That is certainly possible. He's certainly showing a different level of pace to the rest of these drivers. The Mercedes, no answer. Certainly no one else in the field seems to have an answer.
The rest of the field locked in a massive train.
Indeed they are. And the next few laps will be very interesting, Gauzy, because Jacob, who's now in P9, it seems he's gotten past Visha as Meaty gets past him as well through turn 9. The medium and the hard tires, they're going to start to become faster in the next few laps. Or even
the soft tires are going to start dying very soon.
Indeed.
I think pit lanes boxing soon.
We should see some boxing. As Cotters is the first, he will be first blood for the pit stops.
Going to the hard tires, I'm thinking.
Yep. He will likely go for the hards. Let's see what he chooses to do.
Normally, you never want to go on the hards, but around France, they are a good tire.
It is the hards for Cotters, so he is ready to go to the end as Holtzman has a spin. Oh, and there's carnage up ahead. Visha's around. Someone else was collected in that. I'm not exactly sure who, as Hughes Lamberton gets through on Visha. Oh, Visha's tires are very hot.
Yeah.
Very hot, and they are dead. He is forced, I think, at this point to go to the hards. Those softs probably can't do any more laps.
He's going to have to box Mew Mew with a huge run on using the ERS. Will Maxime be protected by using the slipstream of Rhapsody ahead?
I think he will. Mew Mew has almost double the ERS charge of Maxime, and Rhapsody as well. So the Mercedes boys are certainly using the battery.
They're in trouble. They might get overtaken by this Alpine.
Indeed. Dago, meanwhile, still comfortable. 2.4 seconds in the lead. Just driving his own race at this point. Sales gets a 5-second penalty. He's the next person to box. But it is a sad day.
Yeah, a bit too quick going into the pits.
That penalty is going to hurt him.
Holtzman as well.
Also boxes. Also gets a 5-second penalty. That could be a bug. The pit lane here in France is known to throw out 5-second penalties.
Well, the thing is, if you go in it with the pit limiter on, the pit limiter bug happens where even if you're under the limit, it tracks you as like 1 kilometer over.
Ah, interesting. So, could be a situation
So if you don't use the
where
pit limiter and you go down lower, then you don't have to get that bug.
interesting indeed.
Meaty going for the
Wow,
move on Babatunde. Nothing Johnny can do about
and
it.
and he's gonna get it.
And there you have it, the tire advantage like you were talking about before. Babatunde's softs are dead, and Meaty's hards are really... Look at the advantage of traction there.
Yeah, even like in the testing that I've done, as Holtzman picks up a 3-second penalty on top of the 5 seconds.
Jacob also
and
getting passed.
Yeah, in the testing that I've done, lap 7 is right at the crossover between
The cliff.
used softs and fresh mediums, as Meaty picks up a 3-second time penalty.
Johnny's gonna have to
That
box
is
this lap.
so unfortunate.
And we should see
Yeah.
a lot of drivers choosing to stay out. Rhapsody, Maxime. Oh, Maxime boxing.
Maxime into the pits, so he has obviously said, I can't make it to lap 9 for mediums. I have to go hards. And mediums. He's going mediums. Very interesting choice for Maxime. He wants the undercut, I think. The undercut is very powerful here at France, and he will have serious pace advantage over Dago. Dago will have to respond next lap at the latest. I think Dago probably wants to stretch as far as he can go. Henners picks up a 3-second time penalty.
Graz right behind Henders.
Cody Lawrence is P6 on the hards.
When everyone boxes, he's gonna cycle into P1. Well, I think he's gonna get past Jacob and Meaty.
He will. Well, he's closing down on Jacob quite quickly. It's Gabizem trying to attack.
And it's not good for Rhapsody's championship. His main competitor, Cody Lawrence, having a great race so far.
Indeed, as Rhapsody is out of ERS. He's under 10%, and Mew Mew is hot on his heels.
But they should be boxing this lap.
More than 50. It will be Dago who boxes. The end of lap 9. And Rhapsody is in, and Mew Mew is in. So these drivers, they were able to stretch their softs.
We have a new leader of this race.
They're going to go mediums.
Meaty now leading the race.
Yep, Meaty leading the race. Jacob, 8/10 behind. Cody, another 2 seconds back from that as Babatunde, Johnny Musin, picks up a 3-second time penalty. Very unfortunate for him.
Graz right behind Henners. He's been looking at the back of that house for a while now.
Indeed, he has. And I think if you're in this group from Hughes on up that hasn't boxed yet, I think you have to start making moves, because these moves are going to be for track position now. Here goes Graz. He's using the ERS on Henners. And Henners just can't defend. Or
no point defending. He was...
Yeah, no
move is
no
done.
point defending. He can get him next lap. But yeah,
Let's go back down the order a bit. Let's see. We have Johnny Musin right behind Rhapsody now. Sales ahead of them. Boxing early helped.
Yeah.
The undercut.
Johnny's gonna go for the move into turn 8. Really nice there. Nice move into
and
the
Mew
chicane.
Mew right behind Rhapsody now. He's gonna go for it. It's a turn 10.
The old nemesis. He's gonna try it around the outside of turn 10. Can he get it done?
Yes.
Yes, he can.
Wait, can he get both cars? He was looking at... And there was a Haas going side by side. It was Connors and Maxime. Maxime falling down this order.
Oh, there's someone around.
Yeah, it's Maxime.
He's at a spin.
It looks like he had contact with the Haas of Connors and sent him into a spin.
Oh, no. A great race for Maxime turns to tatters as he spins.
Yeah, he's going to need to recover now. Lost about 10 seconds at least.
Indeed. He'll be hoping, of course, for a safety car at some point. Meanwhile, Cody Lawrence, another 2/10 found against Jacob. He's just reeling him in, slowly but surely. He's bringing the gang with him. Gabizem, Graz, Henners, all locked in a train together. trying to catch the current on-track leaders. Dago, of course, the quote-unquote true leader. Cotters, though, looking like a net P2 here, considering he's already boxed.
They all have 3 seconds, except for Vish has 6 and Tulsman has 8.
Indeed, penalties likely to play a part in the race here.
Mew getting them moved on Johnny, but Johnny not giving it up. He's gonna try to take it into turn 11.
They're side by side. As Johnny has to go off the track.
I don't know if he had to, but he went off the track.
Whether he had to or not, he certainly did.
Yes. Jacob thinking about taking the race lead. Dago and he was boxing as well as Henners.
Dago sets the fastest lap.
Dago's got clear air now.
Henners does box, and Hughes also boxes. So Hughes, he's going to the hards, the medium hard strategy for the reserve driver. Henners, likewise, we got a yellow flag. Oh no! Rhapsody is spun now. The other Mercedes driver is spun.
But it looks like he's got the car back around, but he's lost a lot of time to his teammate.
He has indeed, as Henners manages to get in front. And it's going bad to worse for the Mercedes cars today. Really unfortunate.
Yeah, I
to
just
see
looked
that.
at the timing thing. The delta just popped up. He lost 7 seconds with that spin.
That is that's a lot of time to lose, especially around here.
Especially when it was going so well. You were like in the net podium positions.
Indeed.
It's great for Mew and Johnny. Mew, speaking of, going side by side with Sales.
Through turn 10. They're going to go side by side through turn 11.
Yeah, Sales did not want to give it up.
He did not, but Mew certainly turning into a favorite overtaking spot, I think, for him.
Jacob boxing.
Indeed, Jacob has boxed. He's going to do medium hard.
Yeah, he is.
Onto the hard tires. And so, at the front, it's Cody Lawrence in P2, Meaty in P1. He, of course, has the 3-second penalty.
And the gap to Meaty is falling fast. The gap from Cody to Meaty.
It is indeed. I think Cody's decided it's time to push.
Board with Mew, who's right behind Cotters.
Henners picks up another 3-second penalty. 6 seconds for the Haas driver.
His teammate under threat from Mew.
Indeed, he's got another driver in his crosshairs. Oh, he's thinking about a dive here. Gauzy, he goes for the move.
Cotters conceding the position.
Really nice move there from Mew.
Now Cotters under threat from Sales and Babatande behind him. Oh, we have yellow flags.
Oh, we've got
some
yellow
Mercedes.
Flags. Oh no, it's Rhapsody again. Rhapsody spun again.
I don't know if there was contact or if he spun on his own, but that Mercedes car has gone for spins today.
Oh no, it's bad to worse. It's bad to worse.
Yeah, when you need to recover and then you just spin again and lose all the time. You go up 2 stairs and then you fall back down 4.
Indeed.
Mew coming up to Dago again. Now it's just a race between Dago and Mew. Mew has no penalties, Dago with 3 seconds. The gap 5 seconds.
Yeah, we will see. Can Mew answer in clear air Dago's pace, because they boxed on the same lap, and we know how fast Mew is. Setting
definitely match it.
An incredibly fast time in qualifying. Question is, in the race, can he catch Mr. Dago?
He's got clear air to try to do it now. Cotter's in a battle with Sales still. Johnny Mison and Sales battling behind.
They're side by side through the chicane.
Lots of space left for the Ferrari. And the hand goes up for the McLaren driver. Bit of contact.
A little bit of contact. Johnny's battery completely drained. Gabizon picks up a 3-second time penalty.
Sales was looking for a way to send the Ferrari past, but he has to stay behind for now.
Meanwhile, Maxime closing down on Henners here.
Still a big gap.
Can he get in DRS range? Oh, Jacob's in DRS range of Sales. So he is going to join this battle for P8. Meanwhile, in the net race lead, Mew Mew has not gained any time on Dago. The gap has stayed at 5.3 seconds.
Yeah, that just shows Dago's incredible pace.
Yeah, Dago really has been in a league of his own. The whole race, we saw it on the start, clearing both Mercedes. And then he scampered to the horizons. He is quickly hunting down Graz, of course.
Hopefully no safety car comes out. They'd want to see the gaps that these drivers have built stay intact.
Indeed, it would be a shame for safety cars to get in the way of what is turning out to be a very interesting race.
Cody Lawrence in the DRS range of Meaty now.
Indeed, he is.
I wonder how many
Two
laps
hard
it'll take
runners.
him to make the overtake.
I think Cody will waste no time with getting past Meaty. The question is whether or not he can get in position.
Yeah, look at the gap falling. Half a second now.
Oh yeah, DRS incredibly powerful here in France.
There's not much Meaty can do about this.
Yeah, there really isn't anything he can do. The tire whisperer has come.
I don't think it's
Scotty.
I don't think it's that Mew Mew is not going fast. It's that Dago's going crazy fast. Because the gap from Grass to Dago is falling.
Oh yeah, in just the last couple of laps, I think the gap has come down almost 2 seconds. Mew Mew though, he has found some time. Looks like about 2/10 since we last looked. Hughes Lamberton
Cody.
joins the penalty club with his first 3 seconds. Mew certainly doesn't want to waste any more time.
Here's comes
knows-
Cody Lawrence.
He knows he
Very-
needs to get a move on. Cody Lawrence, ever closer.
This is very scary. Why Meaty's like,
Looming
why
in
is this guy tailgating me?
Looming in Meaty's mirrors as Henners picks up another 3-second penalty. As he's on the back of Maxime now, who has no ERS left. As Graz is in the pits, Graz says it's time.
Can he Softs
Surely he
make
goes
it
for
from
softs here. It would be really dumb, if I may say, to take the mediums this long and not go softs, and he will go to the soft tires. Those should comfortably make it to the end from here. So that means that Gabizon, Cody Lawrence, and Meaty are the only drivers who have yet to box.
Dago's still flying. Look at the gap falling.
Dago still cruising. The
Here
gap
comes Cody.
falling so incredibly fast.
For the lead of
Cody
this race.
Lawrence takes the lead into the chicane of the French Grand Prix here in America's Tier 1.
The Czechomobile leading the race now.
Indeed it is. The question is, how much longer does Cody take these hard tires before he switches to the softs?
And what position will he come out of the pit lane in?
Sanders picks up another 3-second time penalty. He is racking them up.
Yeah, it's gone from bad to worse for him. He's gonna lose.
But yeah, I think if Cody boxed now, he would come out in 9th. He would come out ahead of Graz. The question is, can Graz put in some absolutely blistering lap times for the next couple laps? Potentially pull off an undercut on Cody Lawrence.
Gab is a
We've got a
boss.
yellow flag in Sector 3.
Jacob.
It's Connors and Jacob. They've crashed into each other. They're both dead. It's a safety car.
Oh my! The safety car
Oh
merchant.
my goodness,
The
Ghazi.
the safety car merchant once again. Whenever whenever Cody's about to box, the safety car always comes out at the most perfect timing. Every
Cody
single time.
Lawrence, truly blessed with good tire management and great safety car timing.
I really
The
think he has
question-
the button in his car to bring out the safety car.
I would not put it past him. We should get put in an investigation into Red Bull to make sure they don't have any illegal safety car technology. But jokes aside, this is incredibly interesting for the race as we see drivers all up and down the field. They're pitting, most of them onto softs. Ruben, Rhapsody, Hughes, Holtzman, Sidewinder in the pits. Maxine puts on the softs. Sales on hards.
It's very
Gabby's
sad.
on softs.
It's very sad for Dago, who has been having such an amazing race. Now he's gonna have Cody to battle with.
Indeed, he has to battle with Cody now, and he has to battle his penalties. You know, before this, he was essentially relatively safe with the 3-second time penalty against Mew Mew, but now he is well and truly in danger of any drivers behind him without penalties.
Why does the safety car come out at the most opportune time every single time for Cody Lawrence?
It is truly interesting, but yes, Cody Lawrence, there he goes, onto the softs, Meaty onto the softs. Dago comes into the pits. Mew Mew also into the pits and onto the softs.
Graz, I think is staying out.
We'll see everyone on the softs here as Hanners picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding. As Graz, with his, I will say, relatively opportune pit stop, he's cycled himself into P3.
Yeah, but his tires are a bit more life on than other drivers. Same with Gabazon.
His tires are a bit worn.
Sales decided to stay out on the mediums.
Sales staying out. So he is going to do the Jeffrey Ritchie strategy of being on mediums when everyone else is on softs. That'll be very interesting.
When the softs die, like, yeah, he's gonna have a lot of pace on the last 2 laps.
Indeed, it's just a matter of whether he can stick with the fresh soft runners. The fresh softs about 1.3 seconds faster over a single lap than the mediums when both sets are fresh. So Sales is gonna have a hard task ahead of him to stick with the front runners here. Meanwhile, at the back, Maxime, he's in P10. Penalty free so far.
I think if the safety car comes out pretty much any lap, Cody has the strategy attuned for when the safety car comes out. Could have stayed longer on the hards.
Indeed. He definitely could have gone the whole race, I think.
He has definitely the safety car merchant.
As let's just check on the penalty situation. Meaty in P2. Gabism P4, Dago P5, all with 3 seconds. Johnny Musin in P7 with 6 seconds. Henderson P9 with 17 seconds. That is going to hurt him come the end of the race. Visha in P11 with 6. And then Gabox, Hewis, Holtzman, Sidewinder, 14th through 17th, all with 3 seconds. So, this safety car, of course, looking very good for drivers who've kept it clean so far. But the question is, over the next 6 laps, can they maximize the fact that they've been penalty free As Holtzman and Sidewinder certainly are a long way off the rear of the train. But assuming they can catch up quickly enough, I think the safety car will be in this lap.
Yeah, it should be if the Aston of Thoughtsman and Sidewinder and the Red Bull can catch up. We're not that far behind now.
Indeed, making good progress towards the train. For Cody Lawrence, of course, this will be a key moment for his race. Whether he can get a good start here.
And we're going to need to see another recovery drive from Mercedes. See how many points they can get back into.
Indeed.
It was a lost race for them, but now the safety car kind of saving the day.
Yep. Safety car saving the day for many drivers. And the safety car is in this lap, Agazi.
Yeah, we're going back to racing. For it might be 8 laps to go. We're gonna be going on laps 21.
Yep, 7 laps to go.
So we'll get 4 laps with DRS, 3 laps without.
DRS should be activated at the end of lap 22. So, from 23 to the end, we should see some DRS. Should be about 5 laps, I do believe. The drivers up and down the
Sales
field.
went for a spin.
Sales, indeed, he has fun. That is not good.
And
Ruben picks up a 5-second penalty for a severe collision, but Cody Lawrence, he is gone. He's away. 4/10 is the gap from Beatty. It's not too bad. His gap is immediately on the back of Graz. Is he going to make a move into turn 1? No, he isn't.
Gabok's got 5 seconds for ignoring yellow flags. That should be able to be removed after the race.
Yes, hopefully he can get that.
Oh, and the AlphaTauri went for a spin. It was Visha.
It's Visha. He has had a moment, and the Mercedes cars.
Sales is out of this race in the pit lane. So we have
Cody Lawrence, 7/10 already his lead over Meaty.
We have Dago looking to get back into first. He's gonna go for the move on grass. The two Ferrari power cars.
Into the chicane.
Oh, there's big contact.
They touch.
Grass being knocked.
Dago picks up another 3-second time penalty.
I don't know. I didn't see where he cut the track, but he knocked Graz off. And Gabazem going side by side with Graz now. Oh no, it's Miu Miu going side by side with Gabazem.
Side by side with Graz. It's so very tight between the two of them. They're still side by side through turn 11. Miu Miu around the outside.
Miu Miu.
He's gonna stick the move, Gazi.
Yeah. Gabazem couldn't hold it. And now Johnny and Gabazem are together, the two McLaren drivers.
Unbelievable move from Miu Miu. As it is the McLaren drivers together.
And Maxime has recovered to P9.
Maxime has indeed. Cody Lawrence, fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 30.5. He's almost a second clear of Meaty.
I don't think there's anyone going to be able to challenge him. Meaty and Dago behind him both have pens. Miu Miu has a lot of traffic to get through.
Yep. At this point, it's looking like it will be Cody Lawrence, Graz, and Mr. Miu Miu as our podium. Meaty picks up another 3-second time penalty. So unfortunate.
Yeah, that's going to really cost him. This is not the time to take a penalty.
No, indeed. There's just not enough race left for most of these drivers.
Let's see if we'll see another spectacular move in the third sector from Miu Miu again. Very close to the Ferrari driver of Braz. Oh, and he's going to go for it. It's on.
Look at the exit. But Graz isn't using any ERS.
Yeah.
Miu Miu's going to go down the inside of turn 10. It's an easy move. Will Graz try to reattack? No, he won't.
Miu Miu and Dago battle is back on.
Indeed it is. These next few corners are very important for Miu Miu. He needs to hook up with Dago and get DRS here, or Graz is going to have a chance to reattack.
And Dago's need to get past Meaty so he can catch up to Cody.
He does indeed. Oh, Meaty makes a mistake. Oh, no DRS yet. There we go. DRS is now enabled. It's lap 23. The gap between Meaty and Cody is 1.5 seconds. So Cody well and truly gone from the front. Skybox picks up a 3-second time penalty. He's on 11 seconds.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It looks like he's not going to score any points.
He goes
Sidewinder
hang
going
his
side
roof.
by side
Mew
with
Mew.
Hughes. Gets the move done. That's not really an overtaking corner. Into turn, I think that's turn 3.
That would be turn 4, but yeah, very impressive move from Sidewinder.
Dago
As here
making the
comes
move on
Dago.
Meaty.
He's going on Meaty. Meaty defending the inside.
And
But
Dago sails
he
into
just-
P2.
You just can't stop him. And now it's Mew Mew. What can Mew Mew do here? He's choosing not to use the ARS. He's only 7/10 behind. He's under no threat from Gabism.
Graz is threatening Gabizon though.
Graz is indeed. They are nose to tail.
And Johnny Musson behind him trying to join his teammate.
It is reminiscent of the 2021 season of Formula One, McLaren versus Ferrari. And at the front, it's Cody Lawrence. Dago setting his sights on the Red Bull. Meanwhile, Henners. Oh, he's very close to Johnny Musin. He is really attacking the McLaren.
Johnny wanted to make the move on Graz, but now he has to defend from Henners behind.
Yeah, and you know who this lets in? It lets in Maxime.
Henners with 17 seconds of penalties.
Maxime, our pole sitter.
It looks like this right now. The podium is going to be Cody, followed by Mew Mew, followed by Graz, based on the penalties.
Indeed, it is certainly shaping up to be that way. Oh, very tight for all 5 of these drivers. Rhapsody appears to be struggling a bit. He's starting to fall off the back of Maxime and into Rubens.
Yeah, the number 1 driver today seems to be Maxime.
Indeed, Zvisha picks up a 3-second time penalty, bringing him to 9 total seconds of penalties.
Johnny Musson trying to get the move on Graz before the race is over. He's only got 3 laps, 3 more laps to do it.
Indeed. Johnny Musin, of course, sitting on 6 seconds worth of penalties. There's been a spin in Sector 3. It's Sidewinder. He has crashed, but we are past the point of no return. There can be no more safety cars of any kind.
It's going to be green flag to the end.
1.6 seconds in front. And Ghazi, I have to say, America's Tier 1 does not disappoint. It has been exciting every single week.
They really brought the action today.
They certainly did. It's Mew Mew. 3 seconds back from Meaty. He's trying to catch him. He thought about it. Oh, Dago goes defensive. He keeps the position.
It looks like Graz has gone past Gabizon, and now the McLarens are fighting with each other. And Johnny Musson goes completely off track.
Oh, they're side by side. They almost come together.
Yeah, Henners was almost going to overtake them.
As Maxime is
The
lifting
McLaren's going side by
10.
side again.
Oh, Henners makes a mistake. Maxime is through.
Yes.
Or is he? Henners is fighting back. They're side by side through turn 12.
Will there be
Maxime
contact between these
on the
two
outside.
again?
Into position.
Oh, and Johnny Musson goes off track again, but stays ahead.
Henners' battery is on to life support. The McLaren swap positions.
Yeah, the McLarens, these new teammates, fighting hard with each other. Still going side by side up into turn 1.
Oh, they're side by side into turn 1 indeed. It's still Johnny Musson in front. Certainly no team orders at McLaren today.
Yeah, this is a battle.
Yep.
Rhapsody
As
taking 3
Rhapsody
seconds.
joins the penalty club, 3 seconds to his name. Really unfortunate because he was going to be in a position to take big advantage of
At the start of
the
this race,
McLarens.
we thought Mercedes would be untouchable.
We did indeed. Cody Lawrence, 2.5 seconds. Dago picks up another 3 seconds. It's going from bad to worse for Dago.
And the
Because
McLaren's
Meaty's
going
got
side by
past
side
him,
again.
and now he has more penalties than Meaty. So he's finishing behind Meaty, perhaps no matter what. And Mew Mew, he is stuck to Dago's diffuser. Graz, meanwhile, is dragging the McLarens along. And Mew Mew,
getting
he's got past Dago. And here we go.
This McLaren fight is too good to look away.
It is indeed, but Cody Lawrence, he's going to start the final lap of the race. Meanwhile, the McLarens, they're still fighting tooth and nail. It doesn't look like they're going to have a chance to do battle into turn one.
Might make the move on Gabism.
Oh, Henners, he thought about it. As Rhapsody's gotten past Maxime.
This is great racing.
Maxime, of course, could be looking at a P4 after penalties are applied. So he just needs to keep it clean on this final lap. Graz going to the inside. He's trying to break the toe.
Dago gets past
Here
Mew
comes Babatunde. Will he go for the move? Oh, he tried it.
It's a good return race for Babatunde.
Oh, they both make a mistake on the exit of the chicane.
Will this open the door for Gabism? I don't think so. He's too far back.
No, it won't.
It's a great return race for Johnny Mosin.
It has been a great return to the MRL. Ahead, though, in P1 from the last, as he seems oft to do. Here comes Cody Lawrence.
And how will the penalties shake up? How will the penalties shake up the rest of this grid?
And across the line, it's Cody Lawrence to win the French Grand Prix from last. Meaty, P2 on track, but it's Mew Mew who's P2 at the end. And Graz picks up P3.
Maxime falls to P5.
P4. Maxime P5. Dago 6th. Gabism 7th. Rhapsody P8. Babatunde, Johnny Musin P9. Holtzman rounds out the point scoring positions.
Yeah, the penalties really hurt Maxime.
Ruben,
I mean, they really hurt
Hughes Lamberton to be 13th.
The penalties really hurt.
My goodness, what a race.
Yeah, what a race. We'll see the final order now. There won't be any interviews tonight.
Well, there you see your podium, ladies and gentlemen. It's Cody Lawrence. Another brilliant victory. Last to first. Graz in P2. Really showing a strong performance today from the Ferrari driver. You know, last season he was in America's Tier 2. This season, fighting at the front in America's Tier 1. Showed a lot of improvement. So, the final order. Cody Lawrence, Mr. Mew Mew, Graz, Meaty, Maxime, started on pole, finishes 5th. Dago, Gabism, Rhapsody, Johnny Musin, Holtzman, Ruben, Hughes Lamberton, very impressive, started P16, finishes P12. Henners finishes in 13th, followed by Visha, Sidewinder, Gabox, and then the non-finishers were Sales, Cotters, Jacob, and Johnny Disco.
Yeah, very thrilling race, as always, from America's Tier 1.
Indeed. I have to say that I think Paul Ricard gets a bad rap in the Formula One community. Perhaps it's just in real life, but I feel like in the F1 game, uh, races around this circuit are always exciting. Tonight, just another example of what kind of shenanigans can happen at any moment.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very technical track and it rewards high players with high skill who practiced. But I think that will be it for the broadcast, where we will be in, I think, Belgium next week. Is that correct?
Yes, indeed. It is the Circuit Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. Historic circuit, of course, the longest circuit on the calendar.
That should be a very exciting race. I can't wait to get back to commenting that next week with you.
It is going to be exciting, and if any of the races that we've commented together are any indication, then that race is going to be just as exciting, if not more so, than the ones we've already seen.
Absolutely. So we're going to sign it off for tonight. We're going to raid someone in the community. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Have a great night.